Yeah,
All right,
I just keep
hello
it steady on
everybody.
the
Welcome
magic.
back to
Do
the
my thing, I'm
Uprooted
healing, it's
podcast.
fantastic.
Yeah, we're gonna just have
If I
some
fall,
good
rise automatic.
conversation about some good
You ain't
topics
on
with some
that,
good
you
people.
know. I'm the one raise myself like a tree from the roots. West side girl, cause she lit in the coast. East side girl when she speaks to the roots. Stay 100 cause she on with the truth. Been there on struggle, know that it pass. Only going up, yeah, the pain don't last. Ooh, take off. Ooh, take off. Ooh, take off. This is take off. Shorty like Brandy, fight like Monica. What you know about her? Baby girl rising, way to the top. Shaking the world, don't expect her to stop. Purpose so great, she get what she got. Follow her step, cause she following God. What you need more, got a heart full of gold. Even at times when it's raining and cold. Ooh, she bout to take off.
Hey, it's your girl Hannah, aka Ruta, and you're watching the Uprooted podcast and your weekly installment of Black Women Wednesday. Today, I have my favorite Mahlet coming back. Y'all, I'm really excited. I haven't got to talk to my girl one-on-one in a while. And y'all have seen her on my other episode, Women in the Movement. She's still going strong, 7 months in, and she's going to be joining to talk to us about the latest campaign happening this weekend. And yeah, we gonna have a fun little show, you know what I'm saying? What's up, y'all? What's up, fam? I see y'all in the building. My girl in the building, she ready. Uh-oh. Okay, I hope it's bringing you in. Yay. Okay, Mahlet.
Hey Ruta, can you hear me?
I can.
Yes. How are you? Oh my gosh, I miss you so much.
I know. I miss you too, girl. Look at you. Look cute.
Thank you.
Okay.
Always for you, for Uprooted. I gotta pull out all the stops. You know, my Tigray flag. We out here repping.
That's all I asked for. That's all I asked for. Just, you
Right.
know, that's it. But girl, yes, it's been hella long. We haven't worked together in a minute.
I know it has.
We went from being in every meeting.
So crazy. Yeah.
Oh my God. I looked at my calendar recently and there was like a time where we had like a meeting almost every day, and I was like,
every single day.
And it was like I went from seeing you guys virtually,
yeah,
every day, to being like, oh dang, I got all this time back in my life.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it was, you know, we were all on 100%, right? We were all on, and we still are. It's just we're understanding how to take care of ourselves at the same time, because it's so emotionally, mentally, physically exhausting. So yeah, sometimes we gotta figure it out. You feel me? But I miss you. I miss you so much.
Listen, I miss you too. I'm so glad I even got to see you in DC for a little bit. Get to hug up you. I'm like, oh, like that's how I feel every time when I got to see Mahlet this weekend, and I was just like,
at the Denver protest.
Yes, I had to give her the biggest hug. I was like, my sis, you're not in your box no more.
So proud. No, the Denver protest was so amazing. I was so proud of y'all. I was out here. I was there in spirit.
We felt everybody's spirit. It was a live protest. But
yeah,
I'm so sorry. I just be jumping in because I know y'all. So my bad to the audience. Welcome. If you're just joining in, this Black Women Wednesday, my girl Mahlet is here. Mahlet has been on a prior episode, Women in the Movement, and I hope you have seen her face somewhere by now. You know what I mean? But Mahlet, for those of people who don't remember who you are, could you just reintroduce yourself one time to the audience?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Ruta. Even though today's topic is going to be really heavy, I really appreciate sharing your platform. So thank you so much. Yeah. Hey, everyone. My name is Mahlet. I'm based out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm a sophomore at UNT Chapel Hill. And where my intended major is public health. And so on the side, you know, involved with TPN National, Tagaro Professionals Network, where we have an amazing team. And Ruta's our biggest supporter, our number one.
Listen, I think I'm the official like ambassador,
mascot. Exactly, our ambassador. Yeah,
listen, I love the TPN team.
Exactly. Yeah, no, they're amazing, and so I'm a part of that. And I also, as every Tigrawa and every Tigrawati has been for the past 7 months, just trying my best to stay involved in this patchwork of a movement that we've created. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Yes, sis is she said a whole bunch in that intro, but I just want to like put it back in perspective. This is also why I had her on the episode, because you know I tell you all the time, like I feel like when I was your age, I hope that I had as much like maturity and calm as you did.
Thank you.
Like I don't think that I did. I used to be a lot spicier with my tongue because I'm still spicy. Okay, listen, hold on, I'm still spicy, right. But I just see I remember when I realized I was like, what do you mean you're in college still, girl? What? Yeah. I was just I wasn't half as I could run a meeting, but I was not half as in terms of mediation skills. I still needed some work. You know what I mean? And I'm always impressed by that. You're still a student, you're on the TPN national team, trying to start chapters left and right, and still advocating for your people and still trying to, at some point, take care of yourself too, I hope.
Right.
It's a lot to handle. And I see you doing it. I see you also having good boundaries. Sometimes you'd be like, I got hella stuff to do. I'm like, yes. Say that. Take a break. Yeah. Take your breaks when you need it. So I'm always forever proud.
Thank you so much, sis. No, you've literally been such a motivating factor. I've found so many big sisters and big brothers in the past 7 months alone, let alone the past few years. So I'm just extremely blessed to be surrounded around people who emit the energy that I kind of need to keep me going, especially in times like this. So thank you.
Of course.
Your kind words.
Okay, listen. Okay, look at Dowie said my favorites. Dowie, you're our favorite.
Right.
Love you. Dowie is another one. I'm telling you, I'm just like, where did you guys come from and where have you been my whole life? I just adore you guys. So I'm so excited just to see you guys, blossom into your roles and really start to find your voices. And I don't know, I'm always so excited to just see people's journey, especially when it's a little bit earlier on. And I'm like, yes, start young. Yeah. So you don't have to struggle. You don't want to push 30. Okay, listen, I'm talking about myself. You ain't trying to push 30, still trying to figure things out. So I'm forever grateful. And so we are going to be talking about a little bit of a heavier topic today, trigger warning for people. We're talking about sexual violence, and specifically how we're trying to address it, right? So we're not here. This is not just an educational, let me teach you about this. Y'all know what's going on. I've talked about it in prior episodes. Now it's more of what's going to be the action behind all these talks. What are we asking for? How are we trying to get some help to the victims? So you're coming on today. We as meaning the Tigray movement, right? We need to address what has been horrific. The most horrific part to me, right, as a woman, is knowing that the women back home are not safe, and haven't been safe for 7 months. And I want y'all to count. 7 months means if they were assaulted or violated early on in this war, they're coming up on that period where they might be having babies, right? And so there's going to be care that needs to happen there too. So you're coming on today. Why don't you introduce what the campaign is and kind of what why it came about, that whole just that whole story for us.
Right, exactly. So obviously, as we all know, as Ruta just prefaced, rape has been used since the genocidal campaign on our people starting on November 4th, 2020. It feels like, unfortunately, a script because we've been screaming it for so long. Mm-hmm. But among the other horrific tools and weapons of war that have been used, including weaponization of food and starvation, ethnic massacres. I think there was a video this morning that came out that really rocked me of another massacre that was videotaped by Ethiopian soldiers. But specifically, we want to talk about and we want to hyper focus on the fact that rape has been used as a weapon of war and as a tool of war and terror, humiliation, ethnic cleansing against Tigrayans since the outbreak of this war. And so essentially, this campaign is, we're using specifically the hashtags end sexual violence in Tigray, end rape and war, and believe Black women. And so this campaign is a collaborative one, campaign with 40 Tagaru organizations. I can't even imagine I'm saying that, 40.
I'm still trying to figure out what the 40 are. Because I'm tapped in, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm pretty tapped in, and I'm still you got who?
Exactly. So we have 40 Tagaru organizations and Pan-African organizations who are also involved in this. And it's essentially our social media campaign to raise awareness. Get on Twitter. We have our Twitter templates that'll be on standwithtigray.com. And so we essentially just want to stand in solidarity with the survivors and call for an end to the use of rape as a weapon of war. Obviously, like, there's so many other layers. We need ceasefire. We need humanitarian assistance to our people. We need long-term solutions. But the fact that rape is being used as a weapon of war, that absolutely needs to stop. And so there needs to be more pressure from the international community towards the perpetrators, and to show them that we are watching and we know what's happening to our women back in Tigray. And so, like I said, this is a global initiative to focus on sexual violence, the aspect of sexual violence. And it's going to be this Friday, this Saturday, the June 18th and 19th. And so the 19th is actually like a UN mandated, like, International Day of Sexual Violence and Conflict, of ending sexual violence and conflict. So there's actually going to be a panel discussion on that 19th. So we're, wanting to use this campaign to preface that that panel and that International Day that's mandated by the UN. And so I also want to give a few shout outs. We had Danites, who initially partnered with WPF, the World Peace Foundation.
The World Peace, yeah, all the acronyms.
Yeah. All the acronyms, yeah. And she actually was live with Humans of Tigray earlier today. I think it was just an hour ago. So she really was the one who spearheaded this. And then all of these Tagaru, you know how our Tagaru orgs are, jumped in.
Yeah, jump in.
Yeah, we had our amazing people, leaders like B, Rowena, all those people who, really worked, especially for the social media campaign aspect of it. So that's just a little brief overview of the campaign that's happening this Friday and Saturday, the 18th and 19th.
Okay, and so there's a lot of information there.
Yeah.
B, of course, she's in here. I just pinned her comment so that you guys get the hashtags and the dates. So the 18th and 19th. The 19th is also, just to highlight for you, is the Juneteenth, which is also another holiday that's celebrated heavily in the Black community. If you're connected, if you're not connected, get
connected.
But you know what I mean? Like, Google works. No, I'm being honest, because I'm not going to do all that research for nobody. But like, anyways, Juneteenth is also a big holiday in the American community for the African Americans in this country. And there's a bunch of history behind that, but it's also an opportunity to kind of bridge the gaps, because one of the hashtags you said was protect Black women, or was it believe Black women? Believe Black women, right, which has been being yelled for generations in this country, right? And we're asking for people to still believe Black women globally. It's not just here that we're oppressed everywhere. And Tigray is, like, obviously it's important to us, but what's happening to us is setting a precedent for other dictators and other authoritarians to get away with this type of behavior in their countries too, right? So like, us taking a stand, it's not just for us, it's for all women who are abused in this type of way, in such, like, nobody should have to go through this. Like, it is horrific what's happening. And so yes, the war is violent, but having somebody violate you in such an intimate way, and with the purpose of trying to end a generation, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, when we say weaponizing rape, we say that very, like, intentionally, because when we say weaponizing, we mean destroying an entire generation, right? Like, that is the goal of what they're doing, like, with the violence. And this is something that I explained. I had another episode with Salim, who I love and adore.
I love her. Oh my gosh, she warms my heart. I'm sorry, continue.
No, I'm telling you, I love her. Please go back and watch that episode if you need more. I don't want to go into because I can go on about this. It is like something that's extremely, extremely, like, important to me as someone who has experienced violence for a long time and have witnessed people die because of it. It's extremely traumatic, and I don't wish that on anybody else. I also know what it means to help a survivor heal from this. And like, what you guys are doing by putting this campaign is starting to help them heal, because somebody cares enough to fight for them, right? It's like, they know that, like, what happened to them is not their fault, right? And that people are going to stand against it, and that it's not okay behavior, and we're going to hold people accountable. And then we're also trying to make sure that we facilitate healing spaces for them after.
Right.
So could you go into a little bit more about, so you have June 18th and June 19th. Can you break it down one more time? What's the 18th again?
So yeah, the 18th and the 19th are both social media awareness campaign days. So make sure y'all are tweeting throughout the day. You know, get those Twitter fingers ready. You know,
Okay.
Tweet the guy.
Yes.
So that content will be put in the, like, it's pinned down there on standwithtigray.com. And so the hashtags for that are end sexual violence in Tigray and then end rape in war. And so that's the social media aspect of it. So make sure you're using the graphics. So it'll be graphics that we can post on Instagram. Let's make sure we're getting this trending on Twitter. You know, all the stuff. Tagaru, we know the drill at this point. And then on the 19th, there's going to be a panel. And so that is going to be, again, centered around the International Day of Ending Sexual Violence and Conflict. And that's like a UN mandated thing. So that's also a really important day that we commemorate and that we, you know, especially amplify our voices. It also coincides with Juneteenth. Like Ruta said, believe Black women. That's such an important part, to believe Black women globally, especially when there's so many people who are out here just trying to blatantly deny, justify, you know, let's not even get into that part, but that's, you know, that's the central theme, is we're believing Black women, especially on a day that, you know, two really important ideas coincide. And then aside from that, I do also want, because you did bring up healing, I do want to highlight the fact that there will be a fundraiser for the Tigray Trauma Healing Center. And so that's kind of like the fourth part of the campaign. And so it's going to be so unimaginable, like the amount of healing that our community is going to have to do, that the women of our community are going to have to do. I sometimes it's hard for me to speak about healing when these women are still going through it. It's hard for me to even think about like things like reconciliation, that type of stuff. So I know it's really hard for us to fathom, but we need to be prepared and we need to be ready to assist the women who are, you know, who are going to need to go, you know, through a lot of healing. And that goes, you know, inside the country as well as outside. Or, you know, we're feeling it. So we got to make sure that we're, you know, that healing aspect needs to be harped on. So those are kind of like the three aspects that I really want to touch on. And then if you'll allow me, I have one last thing. There's also the Tigray Action Committee petition for change, or petition. It's on change.org. And so they're almost at 150K. We know that.
Okay.
Exactly. So and this is essentially urging the U.S. to place sanctions. And so while, you know, obviously sanctions are not the immediate fix to this, you know, weaponized rape, it is the long-term sustainable solution to what's going on to the women and what is being inflicted on the women of Tigray. We need these troops out. We need these invaders out. We need our women protected. And so we want to make sure that we amplify and boost that petition. If you haven't signed it, make sure you signed it and then send it to all your friends. So make sure we get that to 150K. Okay,
so let me help break it down a little bit for the people. So yeah, no worries. So this is, you know, we not new to this, okay? We true to this at this point. So essentially we're gonna go to standwithtigray.com, I'm guessing omna.com, and you can find tweets there. You're gonna tweet Friday and Saturday using the hashtags end sexual violence in Tigray and rape and war, and believe Black women.
Right.
So we're tweeting, okay? Get them thumbs ready. And, you know, it's actually really easy because you just click, tweet, and then just go through and just start reposting and all that good stuff, right? And then the other part is the panels, right? Like if you guys actually want to engage in that and learn more, like pay attention, right? And like get involved, because we need to know why this keeps reoccurring. Like the fact that this keeps happening 30 years and we keep going through the same motions 30 years and like nothing actually gets solved is because we weren't paying enough attention and we're just believing people at their word. So get engaged. And then the fundraiser. So I want to spend a little bit of time here. So the fundraiser and then Tigray Action Committee, you guys, I had the sisters on, so y'all know. We got Housen, Mabel, Sienna. They're amazing and they have a great team over at Tigray Action Committee, like dope. And so go over there, make sure you're signing that petition. So what I wanted to spend a little bit of time on is the healing center. I feel like healing is such a, like, because I use the word too. Sometimes we mean it differently though. So like when you were talking about, it's a little bit difficult for us to think about this idea of healing and helping our women heal. but healing comes in different parts, right?
Right.
Because they need to heal physically from what they went through, right? Because there's physical trauma that happens to the body when it's violated like that. So they need that. That's immediate. That is immediate, because when it's not taken care of, when things are not taken care of correctly in your body, you know, it has long lasting effects. So that's number one, right? They need that physical treatment ASAP, especially for thinking about unwanted pregnancies, right? Like, there's a lot of complications with that. And do you think a woman in trauma, right, has to sit there with a baby she didn't want? Do you see what I'm saying? I hope this is not too graphic for y'all, but I want you to just for a second, just imagine what it feels like to be a woman there, and to know that in your body, you're creating a life out of trauma that happened to you. And you have to sit there day in and day out with something that's supposed to be a beautiful process for women. And like, they took that from you.
Exactly.
You got to heal from that. You got to heal from that physically, first and foremost. And then you got to heal from it mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And so by us fundraising and getting a center, one, it's get them a safe space where they can do all of those things. All of those things are not going to happen day one, but if there's nowhere for them to go, they're going to try to figure it out on their own. And I don't know about you guys, but I wasn't the brightest at 18, 19, and 20. Do you know what I mean? So and it happens in America daily, right? We have teenage pregnancies, and they go and they try to abort on their own, and they end up harming themselves, even worse, right? Sometimes they can mess themselves up so much they end up taking their own life. So when we say they need healing, we don't just mean their bodies need to heal. We mean every part of them needs to heal. I just talked about this on Manifest Mondays. We need to heal our wombs because we're to birth the next generation. And we know what they're going through because our parents didn't have the healing. They fled. They came to, you know, whatever country you're in, right? You're not in Tigray if you're watching this, right? They didn't get the chance to heal. And we had to grow up with parents that had unhealed trauma. And that affected us too, a lot of us. And had it been that they focused on this before, maybe we would be in a different place, is all I'm saying.
No, I completely understand. I think we need to be that generation that like in our rebuilding efforts, once all of this is done, that we really put an emphasis on the healing process as well. Because first of all, never again. I'm manifesting it. This will never happen to us again. So we need to be
claiming it.
Yeah. Sorry, y'all see me?
It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
We need to begin that healing process, and we need to make sure like the foundation is right. And so like there's one thing I also want to add, that like including the ethnic cleansing aspect of it, like this like rape being used as a weapon of war, like for the ethnic cleansing purposes, and then for like the subjugation and oppressive like method that they're using it. On top of that, there's like an added layer of like, we know that the women of Tigray are the backbone of our society. So this is like an intentional destruction of like the social fabric, the family dynamic. It's like specifically targeting our society, not just women, but it has so many ripple effects. So yes, there's going to, obviously we need physical, like the most urgent thing is getting the physical aspect, like the help, humanitarian assistance. We already know that USAID has said that like estimates are 22,500 women are going to be seeking treatment as a result of weaponized rape. So that is an astronomical, I can't even like see that in my head, to be honest, but that's the immediate need. And so after that, we need to get, like you said, the spiritual, mental, and emotional healing needs to come from that. But then as a community, you know, there are going to be children, again, like you said, that might like maybe a reminder of the trauma that these women went through. So we as a community need to make sure that we're not adding trauma on top of that. We need to be able to embrace, heal. Again, we need to like, there needs to be on an individual basis and then as a collective basis. So that's just one aspect that I want to say. Like, they're specifically doing this to attack the family dynamic, to attack the social fabric of our society. So we have to make sure that we are not only healing individually and the women who are being horrifically assaulted, but heal our community in the process and heal the social fabric that they're trying to tear apart.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's crazy to me how some people will say, like, out of one side of their mouth, women are the backbone, you know, like they're like, women are the backbone, women are the culture, women are the, you know, all of these things, and then they turn around and they don't understand that you have to actually protect us then, because who is going to help you survive? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're targeting us for a reason. Like,
yeah.
it's, none of it is by accident. Also, I think Beelan or somebody tweeted it the other day too. It's horrific what we're hearing about what's happening to women. I don't ever want to dismiss the fact that this can also be happening to men and boys. It's not going to get talked about unless we talk about it, right? Unless we also advocate for that. So, like, for me, End Rape in War is the hashtag that I'm happy about, because it's not about gender, right? Also, they're making other people, family members, do this. So there's another psychological level to it. So it's not just, you know, the soldiers. Okay, it's all the other things that happen to it, and the layers that you have to try to unravel to get to normal again. And what is even normal, right? It's baseline. Like, I don't know. It's really hard. And if we can't even talk about it as a community, if we can't even discuss it, those of us who want to help, you're not in a place to help if you haven't done your research, if you haven't done a little bit of studying. You are going to re-traumatize these people. What you can do, though, is advocate on their behalf, right? What you can do, though, is provide the resources for the people who can do that to be able to go do that. And these are organizations that have been around, right? They've been around the block a couple times. They know how to handle this, and we have our own.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not helpless. There are people like me who have spent some more time in this field, right? There are other women who have been victims themselves and turn around and help the next person heal. There's a lot to it, but we need everyone to participate and to engage in this and to not shy away from this, and not to just use it out of anger. Like, understand your anger is justified, but we also need, right? We also need the healing part of it too. And we need to create spaces for them to do that. So yeah, I was like, I be getting hot and heavy when it's this subject, because it's like, ooh.
No, let them know. Like, this is, I don't know, this, we've reached a point in just, not this conflict, like not within this conflict specifically, but because of this conflict, we've reached a point of just, I don't even know how to explain the trauma. It's just so exhausting, to be honest with you. Like, I'm so exhausted by the amount of trauma we have to relive every day. So I can only imagine what women inside Tigray, or everyone, honestly, like you just said, this is not only happening to women. We know that I'm sure that there are men who are going through this, who are not, you know, it's going to come forward. It's going to be so hard, because women are like, again, I know this entire thing is triggering, but this specific story was like so heartbreaking to me. In Sudan, I don't know if you remember Dr. Tedros. He was on CNN with Nima, and he like told a story of how he was looking for a woman that he knew or found out that had been raped, and found out that she had committed suicide before he was able to get to her, because of how public and the shame that she held, because so many people knew. Or just the shame in general of having someone do that to you, and the terror that you feel. And so I don't know, it's things like that really push me, and, you know, our entire Tigrayan community and movement, to really, you know, make sure that we're amplifying this on the world stage like we have countless times. So that would kind of be my, you know, my wrap up, because I don't know, it's just it's so hard to put in words, Ruta. Like, it's just so horrific. And so I think we really have to push on this campaign specifically.
No, I honestly, and that's why I'm so unapologetic about going hard for Black women. It's like, I'm so unapologetic about it. I can cry right now if I like wanted to let it go. I'll wait till after the show though.
I know.
But it's a literally, like what you said, it hits home for me. because I'm exhausted. Like it's,
Yeah.
but it's like you compartmentalize, right? You know what I mean? Like you gotta like, for me, it's all right. I might take 10 or 20 minutes to just let the tears go, for whatever reason. I don't even need one. I don't need one most days. I don't need to look at a paper. I can just feel it, right? And I'm just like, oh, okay, I gotta let a little bit of this out, because it's so much that we're taking in daily.
Right.
And it's the psychological part, because we don't even have the physical scars to justify why we're in pain, right? Like you go to your doctor. So for instance, I've been experiencing back pain for the last like month, right? I know I'd be joking like I'm old, but I'm not really. Like I'm not old enough.
No, you are not old.
I'm not old enough to be experiencing this type of back pain, right? But it's sometimes your body will hold on to stress in different ways, right? And in different places, and the trauma, it'll hold it. And so like I've been slowly trying to release it, because I'm noticing the different aches that I'm experiencing, but it's not going to show up on my scan. And I'm telling you this for a fact because I went to my doctor to get it checked, right? There's nothing wrong on my scans, but sometimes emotional pain shows up in your body. So I still have to go get that taken care of and start doing. And that's why I do my work every day, because I know if I held on to any more trauma, I probably wouldn't be able to get out of bed.
Right.
Like it can be debilitating. So I just like, I want us to think like it's the shame part of what you said that I instantly knew why she did it. You know what I mean? Because the physical act is one thing and it stays in your head, right? The memory is what stays with you the longest. So even though the physical act is done, and this is for any type of physical violence, right? Even actually, I think verbal too. But the moment itself could have passed, right? It could have been one time, it could have been multiple times, whatever the case is. It's the memory that sticks, right? And then you keep playing that in your head over and over and over again. And then when you pile on shame and guilt, I can't even go talk to you about it because I already feel ashamed of something that was done to me. You know what I mean? And then we have a culture that we're screaming end rape and war every day, but yet and still we're in a culture where we don't actually talk about it. Do you see what I'm saying?
I completely agree. It's such like, in ways it's like a paradox. It makes perfect sense what you're saying right now.
Yeah, and so you cannot, if we actually want to be the generation that changes it, then we have to change that dynamic, because we cannot in this breath care about the women and not care about them in 6 months, and not care about them in 2 years, and not care about them in 5 and 10 years. Because guess what? When they have a child, those things are going to come back up. Healing is not a permanent thing. Healing is an evolving journey. And once they get through the first part of their healing, they're going to keep going, because they're going to find other triggers and they're going to need more support. And then when they have children, they might be afraid that this is going to happen to their children too, right? What do you think? We grew up under strict Habesha parents. Why do you think they're so strict? Why do you think you're not allowed to sleep over at your friend's house? If they don't know their parents, you thought, I know you know what I'm talking about. I might be preaching right now. Am I preaching?
Exactly. No, seriously, Ruta. Like, this is so important. Please let them know. Like, these are the type of thoughts and the type of conversations and discourse that we need to be having now. Because once we are able to rebuild Tigray, the action needs to start. So we need to already be talking about these things.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not tripping. That's all.
No.
I just want y'all to break down a little bit about, if you just think about the trauma, and we say this, right? In the 80s, right, when our parents were going through this, do you think women were not experiencing this then? I hate to break it to you, but I just want you to think about your mother, your aunt, grandma, somebody in your family was abused. And I guess you might not even know it. And you know why? Because she didn't feel safe enough to tell you. Right. But you know how you know that she might have experienced it or saw somebody else experience it? Because she was so strict and paranoid with you. That's how you know your parents experienced trauma, because they try to protect you and it comes off as control, because they're afraid that if you go out into the world, they're not sure what's going to happen to you. It's not fair. It's really annoying being Habesha sometimes, but that's why it's there. Your parents are afraid of you going out into the world, and they have every right to be. But had they had somebody interject, right, and actually focus on their healing, they might have been able to loosen up a bit. You know what I mean? Exactly. And maybe your communication would be better with your parents. That's all I'm saying.
No,
let me go ahead and drink my bunna.
No, exactly. I think Mahlet just said culture, they can't even talk about their experiences. Exactly. And I think there's already, like I just said, like there's already an attack on our society, on the social fabric of like how our society operates. And so we can't let, you know, culture or what is it? Not necessarily hafet, but like not wanting to openly talk about things. We can't let that hinder our healing process for our women and for society as a whole. So I 100% co-sign what you're saying, Ruta. It's so important.
Listen, if your parents and nobody else want to talk about it, you can come to me. I'm always, you know, I might not be the person that can be your therapist, but I'm gonna help you get the help you need, right? Because I don't like seeing it in our community. And if y'all think that it's not happening here as it is, it's not nearly the whole. I have to stop myself. I said, I almost try to compare. It's not the same. But if you think that violence against women doesn't happen in your own backyard, you're highly mistaken. Highly mistaken. Exactly. So I want y'all to have the same energy for the women here that you have for the women there, because you know why the women are having such a hard time during this, and we have to be the super women of this movement while our parents are being re-triggered. What do you think this is doing to our moms? What do you think this is doing to your aunties? What do you think this is doing to your grandmas? They're reliving this currently every day, every single day.
Exactly.
And if you don't know, you know it gets passed down in your genes too, right? Trauma does get passed down in your genes. So this is your opportunity. Those of you who like to buy the shirt that says "I'm not my parents," you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no,
listen, I know what you're talking about. Because I surely am about to go buy one myself, because you know, I'd be doing my work. But this is your opportunity to be the change and to break that cycle for your family. And that's a huge opportunity and blessing. And it's a lot of work and it's not easy, but this is how you start. You start by joining campaigns like this that try to be the voice for people who don't have it there. And while you're learning, continue to advocate for them, continue to fundraise for them.
Exactly. Yeah, those 2 points. Again, y'all make sure y'all join Friday, Saturday, the 18th and 19th. Hashtags are end sexual violence in Tigray, end rape in war, and hashtag believe Black women. B has so graciously put all that information, and Hanna has pinned it. So make sure y'all tune in. And then we also have the fundraiser for the Tigray Trauma Healing Center. And so that'll be another aspect of this that we want to make sure we support. So yeah.
Listen, I'm telling you, Binyam said, this is why I always show empathy to the women in my family. I can't even imagine. Thank you. Melly said, are there pre-written tweets? Yes. Let's remind everybody. Thank you for that. So Friday and Saturday, the 18th and 19th, the pre-written tweets are at standwithtigray.com and omnatigray.com. So make sure you go there for those tweets. Again, there's also going to be speaker panels, because this is, remind me of the day, it was a long title, the UN.
Yeah, no, it's International Day of, here I have my notes, International Day of Ending Sexual Violence and Conflict.
Perfect. And it's also Juneteenth,
Right.
Which is a very important national holiday in the Black community. I know, you know, we celebrate a little differently, you know what I'm saying? We celebrate things a little differently on the other side of town, you know what I'm saying? So we just want to make sure that you're not forgetting that the struggle exists globally, okay? There's going to be that. Do not forget to fundraise. You know, we really explaining the need for these healing centers for these women. But she said yes to Juneteenth. Okay, hashtag Filmo in the building, SF, okay? What I was going to say too, actually, when you were saying the number of women that's estimated, mind you, let me throw out one more stat to them. They say it's 1 in 4 women that will have experienced sexual violence in their life. 1 in 4. Bro, if you don't think you know somebody, you tripping. If they
Yeah,
don't tell you,
exactly.
it's because they don't feel safe telling you. But guaranteed, somebody you know has experienced this. So I just want to say that 1 in 4, 1 in 4. And when you said the UN estimated number, you said over 20,000 women that they're
Exactly.
expecting to have been victims of war, victims of weaponized rape. And also, those are the people who decide to go get treatment.
Which is
There's
it's
there's
so
a
like I can't even like see that in my head. You know what I mean? Like it's
I
just
want
too
you to
much.
picture a stadium. Picture a
Right.
stadium. I
That's
want
so
you to go,
insane.
a concert hall or whatever. Okay? I
Yeah.
want you to picture you're at a concert. But instead, just imagine every single person in that room has trauma. Now go try to build a nation. Go try to build a nation with all those people who are walking around with trauma, who are
Right.
unhealed.
Yeah, and like another way to like put it in perspective too is my good sis, both of them, Fevin from United Tagaru Canada and Betty from United Canada Australia. I mean United Tagaru Australia. They were they were live this morning as well, and they were mentioning how out of the incidents, out of all the incidents against civilians in Tigray, 30% of them are sexual based. Those are what 30% is what is being perpetrated on women on purpose as weapons of war. So that's another way to try to fathom and put this in perspective.
You know what's crazy? I'm not even gonna make that comparison. It's a whole different one. Cause there's so many ways that women are oppressed. I'm like literally could go on for days. It's wild. But we're just gonna leave it there. Cause I think that was enough of the trigger warnings for everybody. I hope y'all are really understanding the importance. Friday, Saturday, please join the Twitter campaign. There's already pre-written tweets, so it's gonna be easy. It's gonna be easy for you to participate in. You're gonna see some other stuff. Just repost. Make sure that you're sharing it with your networks. If you work like in an office, just email it to the rest of your team. You know what I mean? Your staff. It's not gonna hurt them to click a couple buttons. Okay, they're already clicking through emails. They could just click through a couple more buttons and join the movement. And especially, I don't think you guys realize women have a different bond when we hear about other women being victimized. I would hope they believe each other. I will hope, right? And so I feel like if you guys do spread that in your networks, especially amongst other women I don't think they'd hesitate to join in. So don't be shy to ask people and tell people what's going on. Like even if it's a sensitive topic, just connect them to a resource, because there's somebody who's already done all that heavy lifting for you. So I'll be trying to, I don't know why I be trying to sell it so much. Y'all know what to do, okay? But Mahlet, I'm not gonna let you go. No, you're good. I was like, I'm not gonna let you go without answering my last question. I'm almost positive you've already answered this on the other episode of Women in the Movement. But I mean, it's been a couple months. Who knows? You might have changed a little bit. You might have a different answer. So I wanted to go ahead and ask you, what is the legacy that you are hoping to leave in this world?
Here, I'm gonna hold my phone for the rest of this. Okay. No, so the legacy that obviously, like, to be honest, this war has by all means changed my perspective on the world, on my future, and what I want to be doing. So my legacy is hopefully, doing my part within this, like I said, this patchwork of movement that our Tagaru brothers and sisters have created, and doing my part to support, of course, my society, of course, my Tigrayan brothers and sisters, specifically my women. I do feel really, really passionately about this specific campaign, and I want to make sure that we are, empowering our women in so many different levels. I want to see our women in leadership. I want to be one of those people that is able to empower those women, able to show younger women, look, this is the heights that you can go to, because especially in our society, sometimes women, we tend to stay back. So I want us to be more out in the front. This movement specifically has been youth-led, but has also been women-led. So I want us to continue that moving forward. So I hope that's what my legacy will end up being. But I'm very early on, to be honest. I'm learning a lot.
This girl. Oh, first of all, Senai says, so proud and grateful for you women. We love you, Senai. Thank you.
Hey, Senai, we love you.
Senai's always a big advocate. I don't know why you're using still the words hopeful, want to be. Like,
Because,
I don't
I gotta humble
understand.
myself a little bit. Come on, Rita.
Wait, listen. You think, okay, let me just do this. How much do you respect me?
Immensely. What do
Okay.
you mean?
Okay, so no. Hold on. I'm taking you down a path, okay? Just follow with me. Okay.
Okay.
Do you think I made a mistake when I put you on the episode Women in the Movement?
No, absolutely not. I know you know what you're doing.
Okay. Do you think I would have had you come on the show on the Black Woman Wednesday? I choose these people specifically, right? Do you think I'll have you on here if I didn't think you were inspirational already?
I trust your judgment, Rita. 100%.
Okay. So this we're getting rid of the I hope no.
Yeah, I don't know as far as my legacy, like it's a future thing, right? And we're all working towards
legacy is now.
that.
Legacy is
no,
now.
definitely, sure.
You already
no, 100%.
Listen, we're not gonna let you do this. We're not gonna let you do this, okay? We're not gonna let you do it. This is your part. You just have to accept and receive. I know it's hard.
No, you're right.
It's
Ruth's
hard.
always putting me in check.
It's hard, but just sit there and just sit there and receive it, because if as somebody taught me this, right? In order for me to learn to be better at taking compliments, right? Don't insult the person by telling them they're wrong.
No, you're so right.
Like, I'm not wrong about you. I'm not wrong about you. I would not put you in that group of all older women if I didn't think you could hold your own.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ruta.
I just want you to know that a legacy is already built today, right now. Because tomorrow is technically the future already, right?
Yeah.
So, like, as of today, as of right now, all of that's already been done.
Right.
Like, you're already doing your part. You're actually doing more than your part, if we're being honest, right? If we're being honest, you're doing more than your part. There's probably some things that you could probably pass on to some other people, right? And you advocate for women every day, right? Like, you using your voice allows other women to use their voice too, right? It encourages them, it inspires them, it gives them the space to be like, okay, well, if she could do it, I can do it too, right? Like, and that is just as valuable. It doesn't mean that you have to be the big person up at the, on the TV shows getting the awards. Like, you're doing it already.
Up to that, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. No, I
so by that point, your legacy will be different because you've already accomplished this. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I do.
You're just gonna transition. You just gonna get bigger and better. And then when you start investing all of this in your own projects, when it's like you come back, I want you to come back, and it's gonna be Mahlet's project that she's getting us all involved.
Yeah, he would promote my project.
Yeah. I'm running my own thing. I need some encouragement and some promo. Listen, we're here waiting for whatever it is that comes next, because this is just a reactionary version of you, right? This is not the prepared Mahlet. This is not the I finished my degree Mahlet. This is not the I got some years of experience under my belt Mahlet. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be even 10 times better, but you're already way ahead of the curve. So
thank you so much. Oh, you're so sweet, Rita. Thank you. No, I appreciate it. And I like I said, I 100% trust your judgment. I know you believe in me. And to be honest, like this, I feel like I have an entire family of Tagado. Half of y'all I only know online. I know half of y'all virtually, but I feel like I have an entire community behind me. Yes, Hausenia, build her up, sis, for sure. So I really rely on our entire family of Tagado that like have seriously been a family and a backbone for me to spring off on. And I know I'm gonna make y'all proud. I don't think there's another option. So yeah, thank you so much for
no listen, I was like, you already doing what you're doing. As long as you keep at the pace that you're at, I think you're straight. Honestly, I think you're straight. I mean, and you got to see women and mentors around you, and you're not somebody that's afraid to ask and afraid to ask for help, because I be telling people closed mouths don't get fed. Like,
exactly. No, you're so
you want to be better, you got to ask for it. You got to ask for that help. You got to put in that work. And you are a self-starter. Nobody told you to go do that. There's people your age who are not doing it. You know what I mean? So give yourself a pat on the back. B was like, we got.
She's so right.
One day she gonna come on here too, because she like a background ninja. But
you need to get her on here, but no, you need to get me on here.
Don't even worry.
Amazing.
All these beautiful women in the comments. Listen, I'm coming for y'all too. I'm just waiting for you to get more comfortable in front of the camera. That's all.
Right.
That's it. That's the only thing stopping them. But I just want them to know that, because this is exactly the change we need to see. My faith and my hope in all of that is heavily invested in Black women, and like y'all literally amaze me every week with the amount of care, the amount of intention, the amount of grit and fight that everyone just possesses. You know what I mean? And that continues. It's beyond phenomenal. And this week is just the tip of the iceberg. This weekend, in terms of advocating and focusing on our women, we've been doing it throughout the war, but this is just, again, like, this is solely focused on them, because they need all the attention and love that they can get right now.
Right.
And so I just want to remind the people. So Friday and Saturday, Mahlet broke it down for you. Join the Twitter campaign, Stand with Tigray, omnatigray.com. There will be some panels hosted by the UN, right?
The specific day is like a UN like commemoration for the ending sexual conflict in
what's the other acronym?
The
World Peace Foundation.
World Peace Foundation, yes. They're the ones.
Okay.
Danites. I also want to give a huge shout out again. Danites and World Peace Foundation are the ones who initially spearheaded this. Perfect.
So there, we got panels going. Most importantly, fundraiser. Thank you, Housing. I was like, what is the acronym? Another acronym, TAC, Tigray Action Committee. We look at. Also has a petition up specifically regarding this. Please go to their website and sign the petition and send it to everyone you know. You already know I got love for the team. So I just want to say thank you, Mahlet. You're so beautiful. I love the work you're doing. I just started trying to be on my Twitter fingers again, because I needed a whole hiatus. But I will, y'all, I'm gonna come back for y'all. I'm gonna be in there heavy, okay? I'm gonna be a little bit busy on Saturday, but Friday I'm gonna be on there with my Twitter fingers. So I'm so excited.
Thank you so much for always sharing your platform with all of us. Ruth, I really appreciate it.
Of course. What you mean? Y'all make it easy for me. Y'all make it so easy for me. So thank you, everybody. Everyone have a good rest of your night. I'm going to go on a walk. I hope y'all go do some self-care and get prepared for the rest of this weekend. And, just, stay Black, stay beautiful.
Amen. Amen, sis. Thank you so much, Rita. Have a good night.
Have a good night. Bye, Mahlet.